what is the account, what are the different accounts that are there, what are the account balances that are available for that particular account. He cannot do transaction, but he can view all the accounts and their balances, and whatever the things that are assigned to him, whatever administrative rights assigned to him. And when it comes to clerk to a branch manager, like head manager, something like that, all those are different views of that particular system, wherein which they are assigned with different roles such that they can have their administrative rights. Okay, so that is nothing but it is called as an abstraction. So whenever there is some functionality utilized, whenever you are using any function for that particular module of a system, then that is called as a functional abstraction. Okay, functional abstraction is nothing but to assign a particular function to that particular user. For example, we have seen a user can only see his own account details. So that is one function. To view the balance of the account is one function. So that is assigned to a user, to a particular client or customer. So that is called as functional abstraction. You are acquiring a function call. You are acquiring some function. Function is nothing but it is a process to perform a particular task. Okay, so whatever functionality is given for a particular module user, that is called as abstraction, functional abstraction. Data abstraction is nothing, is similar to the functional abstraction, but here you are not abstracting any function, you are abstracting the data. Okay, you can only access the data that are available in different levels. Okay, so the data can be like the different modules or different objects that are available in your system. Okay, and control abstraction is nothing but, from the word itself you can understand what a control is about. Control is about to start, stop, terminate, all these things comes under controlling. Okay, here what in our computer language, what we will call as control abstraction is nothing but whenever there are some loops, iterations, or some frameworks or multi-threading concepts, and whenever there is a program or subroutine of a program, you are going to have some control, like when this functionality is going to start, when this functionality is going to terminate, when this functionality should be on hold. Okay, so something like exceptional handlings or control flow mechanisms, for suppose in multi-threading, like try catch blocks when they should be executed. So all these things are considered to be the control abstraction technique. Okay, so when we are talking about abstraction, we will be mentioning about functional, data, and control abstraction. Okay, in short, you know what is meant by an abstraction. So now let us go for information hiding. Information hiding is also one of the concept in object oriented programming, wherein which we will be hiding, we will be wrapping up of data, or we can call it as an encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing but to hide the data and only display whatever that is required. Okay, so information hiding is also one of the concept which is used in all the object oriented programming languages. And here, while we are designing a good model, we will see that the model is consisting of information hiding. So abstraction is one topic which we need to consider, and information hiding is one more concept, and the third one is decomposition. Okay, from the word itself you can understand what is meant by decomposition. Here what decomposition it is? Functional decomposition. Functional in the sense we have already seen what is meant by a functionality. So whenever a functionality is decomposed in the sense broken into smaller parts. Okay, so whenever there is a complex problem or else large problem, it is divided into small or understandable pieces. Okay, so whenever for example, if we are if we are having an example, like see here we WordPad, or else if you are going to take calculator, calculator is going to perform some operations, arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So all the operations are called as arithmetic operations. But whereas the arithmetic operations are subdivided into addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And in turn, addition is having its own functionality. So whenever you are decomposing like that, that is concept that is called as functional decomposition. So addition is going to do its own functionality, subtraction is going to do its own functionality, multiplication and division is going to do its own functionality. What is the use of using this concept functional decomposition? Can anyone of you tell me, is there any advantage of having functional decomposition? Anyone of you can respond? What is the use of having the concept functional decomposition in system design? Nobody is responding. Can you tell me an advantage why functional decomposition is required? We can do without composition also. Uh, we can understand easily means what? I don't get. We can understand easily. That is not the point. Functional decomposition, you can understand it easily, but that is not without functional decomposition also you can understand it. Like for suppose arithmetic operations, you can understand it. If it is addition, subtraction, multiplication also you can understand it. But what is the major role of small parts are easy to get to know? Yes, of course, that is one of the point, but that is not the main what we are focusing on for functional decomposition. So there is one main point uh, why we require functional decomposition. Kind of version control. No, not exactly. See, from this example also you can try to get what is the advantage of the decomposition. For suppose WordPad. WordPad is divided into different options like file, save, edit, print, format, setting, and formatting is also divided into different like color, font, tab, paragraph, save as, save, all these things. It is nothing but MS Word. MS Word menu is divided into different options, and we can see that it is decomposed. The functional, it is doing some functionality, so that's why it is called as functional decomposition. Less rate of errors, increase performance. You are up to point, not exactly, but you are somewhat up to point. Less rate of errors and increasing performance. uh, yes, you are up to point, not exactly, but I want to wrap it up. Like see, functional decomposition is very much important because you are dividing the functionality first and foremost thing, such that the project will be easily multitasked. Number one. Number two, yeah, planning and yeah, it can be easily completed within the due course. And number two is, whenever you are dividing the functionality, when there is some error, when there is some error taking place, like for suppose if a WordPad is not working, you don't know where the error lies. When the WordPad is divided into 5 different submodules and you are trying to execute it, you are getting some error. So you can easily identify where the where the error is found, or else you can easily troubleshoot. Like file creation, is it working? Okay, done. Save, yes, done. Editing, done. There is some problem in printing, so you can directly go into that particular module and try to rectify those errors or troubleshoot that error. Okay, but if it is said that there is some error in WordPad itself when it is not decomposed, if you are telling WordPad, then you are going to check all the modules that are available. All the modules are present in a single module. So finding out the error will cost you a lot of time, and space also will be occupied more. So the main concept of having functional decomposition is to identify the error will be very exact and fast. Okay, when compared to the functional decomposition model. Okay, I hope all of you have understood it. So next are top-down approach and bottom-up approach. This thing already everywhere you might have learned. It is nothing but from down to top and top to bottom view. That's why I'm not focusing more on it. And the next important concept which you did not learn in your object-oriented programming is modularity. So what do you mean modularity? Modularity you might have already heard in your routine or else in your day-to-day life. We have already seen something called modular kitchen, modular bedrooms, modular. Everywhere we are calling it as modular. Okay, so modular is what? Modular is nothing but to enhance or else uh, uh, to modify as per your requirements. Okay, we will be dividing it into independent modules, and those modules will be performing their own task independently. Okay, so that is nothing but it is called as modularity. So what modularity does is it is going to enhance your quality factors. Okay, so the advantages of modularity is smaller components which is easy to maintain. Programs are divided into functional aspects, components with high cohesion and reusability. Okay, modularity enhances quality factors such as portability, extensibility, compatibility, and scalability. Now let us see what is meant by modularity. So modular design or modularity. So modular design is nothing but it is going to minimize the interconnection between the modules. So all of you remember it. This is very important. So what is the foremost concept? What is the main role of modular design is it is going to focus on minimizing the interconnections between the modules. Why do we have any interconnection between the modules? Yes, we do have. Whenever we are performing some modularity concept or else functional decomposition, the main part is divided into subparts, and subparts are depend upon the other subparts also sometimes. See, for suppose if you are going to see this example, file creation may depend upon save, and file creation may sometimes depend upon editing. File creation may sometimes depend on printing. Okay, so here our goal is to reduce the dependability on other modules. Okay, so ఇంకా simple గా చెప్పాలంటే normalization technique అనుకోండి. Modularity is nothing but a normalization technique. So what we are going to do, we are going to eliminate the dependability on other functions, other modules. Okay, so that is the main goal of modular design. So modular design, in modular design we are going to discuss about coupling. So coupling is the concept where this modular design is designed. Okay, so what coupling is? Coupling, from the word itself you can understand. Couple is nothing but to join two persons. Okay, when do we call as a couple? When there are two elements. Okay, two persons. So coupling is the strength of interconnection between the modules. Okay, I hope you are understanding what coupling is about. So I want to ask you a question. Couples should be strong or weak? What is required in software design? So think about couple is nothing but to have a relation between two different modules, not only two, several modules. I am asking you a question. A module should be depend upon the other module, or it should not depend upon the other module? Which one is required for a good software design? coupling strength should be more or less? Which is, can any one of you tell me? Any one of you answer me? Still 4 minutes of time is there. We are going to complete this concept by today. Tomorrow onwards, we are going to coupling strength should be more. Loose couple. Loose. Okay. So I have seen some responses. So let us see. Let us see this diagram for example of coupling. So these are different modules. We are performing coupling operation or modularity on these particular modules. So do you want, as a customer, I am asking your view. As a customer, I am asking you, file creation should strongly coupled with saving. File should strongly coupled with editing. File strongly coupled in the sense it should depend on editing. It should depend strongly on printing. It should depend strongly on formatting. Ante file creation దాని అంతా అది పని చేసుకోలేదు. అది పని చేసుకోవాలి అంటే ఫార్మాటింగ్ అనేది కరెక్ట్ గా ఉండాలి. ఇట్ షుడ్ కంప్లీట్లీ డిపెండ్. That is strongly coupled. File creation is strongly coupled with the setting. So as a customer, do you require this type of model? Yes or no? As a customer, yes or no? Do you want file creation to work only if saving is working? No, yes, no. Okay, yes వచ్చిందో నో వచ్చింది. నీకు ఫైల్ క్రియేషన్ అనేటువంటిది వర్క్ చేయాలి, కానీ ఆ ఫైల్ క్రియేషన్ వర్క్ చేయాలంటే కంపల్సరీగా అది ఇట్ ఈస్ డిపెండింగ్ అపాన్ సేవింగ్. సో వాట్ యు నీడ్ టు డూ, యు నీడ్ టు run 2 modules to execute file creation. If file creation is strongly coupled with saving and editing, so if you want to use file creation, then what you need to do, you need to execute saving as well as editing. So what do you want? You want strongly coupled or loosely coupled? The customer wants to see that each and every module is working on its own. It should not depend upon the others. For suppose calculator తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Addition is strongly coupled with subtraction అనుకోండి. That means addition cannot work until subtraction works. Addition is strongly depending on subtraction and multiplication means if you want to perform addition, you should execute subtraction and multiplication. So whenever in projects the customer wants to see that each and every module works without depending upon the other modules. Okay, so in coupling, what we require lowest coupling, or else the least coupling, loose coupling is called as the best coupling. So that is nothing but message coupling. There are several coupling techniques like message, data, control, external, common, content. So on the word itself you can understand message is nothing but just a message. Okay, it is working, it is not working. Only messages, passing up of messages is the least coupled. So whenever you are passing some parameters, or whenever you are passing some variables to different functions, those are called as message coupling. Okay, you are just passing some variables. If variable is not there, okay, let it be, that function will execute without that variable itself. But whereas content is nothing but the whole function, not only variable.